Hey, it's Chef Evelyn here, and I am back with another video. And today I want to keep it short and sweet because hopefully you are resting and relaxing from all of the hard work that you did this holiday season. But I wanted to come in and I want to talk about how to write your own recipe for success in the new year. Now, you may be watching this video before the end of the year or the beginning of the new year, or you may be watching this sometime in the middle of the year. Whenever you find it that you're watching it, you know, there's really nothing special about January 1st. People say that all the time, but it's like, what's happening different on January 1st is not happening today, right now, when you're watching, unless you're watching it on January 1st, okay? But you know, I remember the reason I wanted to do this video is because, you know, I think for a while I had this belief that there was like, that, you know, that when I was in a season where I didn't have success in certain areas of my life, that could have been business, relationships, friendships, health, whatever, that I was like, there's something I don't know. There's something I'm missing out on. There's gotta be some kind of secret or something like that, or you know, maybe it's just the luck of the draw, like some people just got it and some people don't. And what I have found is that that's actually not the case. You know, the case is that success has a system. And I remember going to a workshop. I used to go to TD Jakes' church many years ago, and I remember he was doing like this entrepreneurial workshop, and one of the things he said in the workshop was that if you want success in any area of your life, every blessing requires a system, right? And that has really stuck with me. I mean, this was probably over, you know, 10 plus years ago, but I remember so distinctly of him talking about success and blessings require a system for you to have them and for you to maintain them, right? And so, you know, it took me some time to really figure out, like, what is this system that he's talking about, right? And once I realized that you can actually go learn a system, you can go find somebody who was successful in that area and ask them what was their system, right? And that if you know what they know, then you can do what they can do, right? And so when it comes to this channel, I really wanted to create a video that was about how to write your recipe for success in the new year, because I know this is a season, if you're watching this at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, no matter what year you're watching this, right, where people are really focused on how they want to change their life, how they want to change their business, new goals that they have, new projects that they want to work on, things that they want to accomplish. And I really want you to know it's as simple as long as you have a system. It's super simple as long as you have a system, right? So I want to give you a little piece of it. Now, I'm giving you my full 12-step system inside of the Chef Care Superclass, right? So this is the system that I've realized over the years that it took me a long time to piece together, that it doesn't matter if you're talking about revenue, it doesn't matter if you're talking about business, it doesn't matter if you're talking about health, it doesn't matter if you're talking about relationships, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, that this 12-step process is like surefire to get you on a path to your goals. Like, it'll work. You know, people say it'll work if you work it. It will work if you work it, right? And so in January 10th through the 13th, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I am hosting a 4-day intensive all about how to be the CEO of your life and how to be the CEO of your business, so you can reach your personal goals and your professional goals in this new year, right? And so you don't need a vision board. As a matter of fact, this is not a vision board party. If that is what you're looking for, this is not that. This is more advanced. This is more robust. This is more grown up, if you will, approach to reaching your goals. And don't get me wrong, I used to be a vision board fanatic. I got plenty of vision boards in my closet to prove it. But the year that I decided not to do a vision board and I decided to do this process instead, I leaps and bounds over what I had done in previous years, right? So I'm excited to share that with you, excited to help you cultivate your goals and give you the system you need to have success in those different areas. So let's jump right into it. You can, oh, I forgot to mention, you can go to chefevelyn.com superclass to read all about what's going to be happening in the superclass and to register, right? So chefevelyn.com/superclass. So y'all know I got notes, okay, because particularly with you being off this time of year, I want you to make sure that you get what you came for, right? So let's hop right into it. So the first thing when it comes to how to write your own recipe for success in the new year is that you have to define what success means to you in that particular area. And one of the pitfalls that I used to fall into was looking at other people's definition for success in a certain area and being like, okay, when I hit that, I will be successful, versus the definition of success is basically setting a desired outcome or a desired end and then reaching that, right? So if you set a goal of, I want to do 3 push-ups today, and you did 3 push-ups today, you were successful, right? So when it comes to writing your own recipe for success, it's also really about writing your own definition of success. In what areas of your life? What does it look like for you in business? Not picking a number or a metric that other people say is successful, but really getting clear about what does success mean to you. And sometimes we need support with what that looks like, right? Sometimes we don't even know what's available to us that might seem to be like, yes, this is success to me, right? And so by default, we pick up other people's ideas of success, and then we try to go after that, and then we realize we're not super motivated, and then we're not motivated, and then we're not disciplined, because it was never really what we wanted in the first place, right? So step number 1 is to get really clear on what success means to you in your personal lifestyle and in your professional business, okay? The second thing is, once you really get clear on what it is, what success is to you, you want to create a step-by-step action plan on how you're going to get there. Because I think a lot of times, and I think this is the challenge with vision boards, is that, we put this picture up so they can help us visualize it, or it can remind us that this is our goal, but then it ends at that. There's no, okay, step 1, I'm going to do this. Step 2, I'm going to do this. Step 3, I'm going to do this, right? And here's all the things that need to go along with that in order to move me down the path closer to this goal, right? And that's why I want to cover that in the Chef Care Superclass, because a lot of times we're like, okay, I'm doing things, but it's not yielding the results that I want, whether that's, like I said, on the lifestyle side or the entrepreneurship side. And it's because we really hadn't sat down and said, okay, this is the goal, this is my new standard of success. How do I reverse engineer this, right, into daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually actions or things that need to be done, right? We don't even know what all needs to go in that, right? And so, if you're like, yeah, Evelyn, I've done vision boards, and like they're fun and they're cute, and it's like a fancy craft project, and it's like an annual tradition, listen, go forth and do that. But if you want to go forth and prosper and be profitable in your life and in your business, you're going to need to map out what that looks like, right? So the third thing is that you really need to get guidance, right? I love using the example of a GPS, right? And that a GPS, the first thing it does is it assesses where you currently are, right? And then you tell it where you want it to go, your definition of success. And then once you do that, what it does is it takes all its years of surveying the land and going ahead of you and already having been down that path, and it says, here are your options on how you can get there, right? Here are the different ways that are going to get you to your destination. And what's even more so about having that guidance is that as you are traveling along your destination, right, if obstacles come your way, if things that you weren't expecting happen, it can help navigate you a different route, but still never change the destination, right? And that's what getting guidance and coaching does, is that it is having that GPS there to say, okay, this is where you are. Because sometimes it's hard to tell where we are, right, in the general landscape of entrepreneurship or in a certain area of our life. And then having someone to say, oh, I know where you're trying to go. I have been there. I have been ahead of you. Here's the different ways that you can get there. Let's pick the one that works best for you and your lifestyle and how you want to live and your definition of success. And as life happens and pandemics happen and the world happens and things like that, we don't change the goal, but we may change the path to get there. That is the power of having guidance. But when we try to do it all on our own, when we try to figure out all on our own, we can't necessarily assess where we're at. We're trying to get to a destination we've never been before. There is no GPS to put in. Like, can you imagine in this day and age, let's say there were no maps, no MapQuest. I'm dating myself, right? And then there was no GPS, right? There was no, people would just say, this is my address. And they gave you no direction. You would have no idea how to get there, right? And so you would just get in the car and start driving, and you could get lost. You could spend a lot of money. You could spend a lot of time being lost because you don't have guidance, right? And sometimes some people are at the destination, but they don't really know how to tell you to get there. They know that they're there, but they don't really know how to well, turn right on this corner and that corner. They don't know the street names. They don't know the landmarks. They're like, I just know how to get here, right? And so because of that, that is why you need somebody who has a signature framework that they can walk you through to say, no, you go this many miles, turn right. You go this many miles, you turn left. You go this many miles, you do this, right? Oh, if this happens, you can go this route. There's an alternative, right? And that's what getting coaching and guiding for your business does. And so if you're like, yeah, I really would like somebody who's been ahead of me, who can give me a step-by-step process on how to get there, so I don't have to keep trying to figure it out on my own. I don't have to deal with decision fatigue. I don't have to waste time and energy and money and resources and frustration being lost in the sauce and doing all the things. Then I think you should definitely sign up for the Chef Care Superclass, because we're going to be talking about creating a map in your life, but also creating a map in your business, so you can get the guidance that you need so that you can have a plan and you can walk that plan out, right? So do that, chefelyn.com/superclass. The next thing that you need is you need accountability and community, right? Because there is nothing worse than being out there and nobody being like, hey, you were supposed to be here 30 minutes ago, where are you, right? And you're lost on the highway somewhere. Or, you know, it's nice to have a co-pilot in the seat that says, hey, while you're focusing on the wheel, I'll hold the directions, or I'll call the directions out for you. But if you're trying to, you know, look at the directions or look at your GPS screen, or if you're old school and, you know, you're trying to look at a map, okay, and then you're lost and there's nobody that you can call because there's nobody in the co-seat and you can't call the people that are there, and you're just kind of like, okay, I got a plan on how to get there, but what happens when I get lost? What happens if I run out of gas? What happens if, you know, there's a detour, right? And so having that accountability and that community takes some of the stress off, right? Because you can have people there that can support you in your journey to reaching your goals. This is why support groups for various different things that happens to in our lives are so popular and so important. And a lot of time we neglect that when it comes to personal growth and development, and also professional growth and development, right? For our business, that you need community of people who have similar interests, who are working on the same goals, right? Or headed in similar directions, so that, you know, when it starts to feel awkward, when it starts to feel like, okay, I'm driving down this road and it's dark and I don't see anybody over here, and they're like, oh yeah, I've been down the road, that it's the same street, like you're fine, you're going in the right direction. Like, that's so important, right? And so listen, you need accountability and community, okay? And then the last thing you need is you need to get yourself in the Self-Care Superclass, because we're gonna have the accountability, we're gonna have the community, you're gonna get that GPS personalized map that assesses where you are. We're gonna do that. Then gets clear on where do you wanna go. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put your end coordinates in, and then we're gonna talk about mapping out the process, right, of what it will take for you to get there, right? And so listen, I'm super excited about it. I mentioned in another video that I have been holding this idea for several years now, and I just felt like after, you know, we did the Chef Care series, that this was the time to do it, because I realized that this is something that I don't feel like we talk about a lot in our community. It's always about, how do I get the next client, how to get high paying clients. And don't get me wrong, I have contributed to that dialogue, but I also know that you can get all the clients in the world and you can, you know, charge as much as you want to charge, but if you're building a life that you're not living, what's the point, right? And so I want your life to grow as your business grows, right? I want you to enjoy the journey of entrepreneurship. And when you're frustrated and you have shiny object syndrome and you want to try something new every week, and you've got decision fatigue and you're confused and you got analysis paralysis and your personal life has gone to the back burner, like nobody wins. Like your potential clients don't win, you don't win. You know, the case for entrepreneurship doesn't win. So just a quick recap, right, on how to write your own recipe for success in the new year. New year is one, you need to really get clear on what success is for you. What is success like in your business? What does success look like in your health, in your relationships, in your friendships, right? In your personal growth and development, you know, in your playtime. What does it look like to you to be successful? And if you're like, Evelyn, I don't even know, listen, I'm going to help you discover that in the Chef Care Superclass, right? The second thing is you want to create and follow a step-by-step strategy. Once you get clear on what you want, what's the plan? You know, they say all the time, and it's very cliche, but cliches are usually cliche because they are just for a reason, right? Like they're so good. But they always say, you know, a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? And so it's like, you know, there's some things in my life that I definitely thought were a goal, but I had no idea how to accomplish them. I didn't know what the process was for accomplishing them. And so they just were a wish. They were just something I wanted really, really badly. And year after year, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't achieve it. It's because I didn't have a plan for it. And sometimes I didn't even know what the plan should have been, right? And listen, that's okay. We don't know what we don't know. Sometimes it's like, well, that's the goal I want, but I don't know what the process of getting there is, right? And when I finally reached out and got some help, which brings me to my next point, get some guidance, like I was like, oh, those are the steps? Oh, and you can teach me how to do the steps? Great, right? And so I didn't have to let go of those desires and those dreams for my life, right? And so yes, getting guidance, that GPS example, right? You need a coach, you know, and I know people say that all the time, like Tiger Woods still has a coach, Simone Biles still has a coach, Mariah Carey still has a vocal coach, right? Because it's a journey, not a destination, right? And so there are people who are ahead of you, more experienced than you, that are like, listen, don't buy a lesson that you can borrow from me. I've already made the mistakes, right? I've already taken the long way. I can show you a easier way to do this, and you can do it in less time. So make sure that you have guidance. And listen, you can't guide yourself to a place you've never been before, because if you knew how to get there, you would have got there already, right? Like if you knew how to get there, you would have got there already, if that's something that you wanted, okay? So definitely get guidance. You also need accountability and community, right? Like don't go it alone. If you think about really, really successful people in any area of their life, I don't care if they've been successful in marriage, I don't care if they've been successful in parenting, I don't care if they've been successful with their health, in their business, in their finances, whatever the case may be, they never got there alone. They always had accountability and community, right? Think about it. Accountability, the people you work out with at the gym, you're a trainer, right? That's accountability, right? Community, other people who are on the same journey with you, who can relate to the season that you're in, that you can discuss and bounce ideas off of and share your wins with, right? And talk through the times where you're just a little bit frustrated, right? You need that community and accountability. And then lastly, you need the Chef Care Superclass, because we're going to do all of this in that class. So make sure, listen, registration is now open. Make sure that you head on over to chefevelyn.com/superclass so you can reserve your spot, and I will see you on January 10th. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.